Battlefield's latest patch 1130 is an absolute disaster. I'm not one to complain about Battlefield in general. It's my favorite franchise. I love it to pieces. I've spent already a bazillion hours in this game, and I don't have an issue with the game itself. What I do have an issue with is the state of this patch. I read through all the bug fixes, everything looked great on paper, but when they released this abomination of a patch, I couldn't believe it, honestly. They have reintroduced some absolutely terrible things. What I think has happened from a development point of view is they've had this master branch and they've merged back in time, like a few patches. But one of the original issues, if you have your graphics set to overkill, there's a massive memory leak and it chews up your memory like nothing else. And that was there in the original release. So I'm guessing they've used the original master branch from some backup and then they've added their fixes on top of that. It's not all bad. They have obviously fixed up the sound. You can hear footsteps very clearly now. Of course, I have an issue with that because now it doesn't feel like you can be stealthy anywhere because everyone's stomping around every corner. They've messed up something that you can't tell if they're above or below you, whereas previously you could. But these challenges, oh my gosh, these are some of the worst challenges since they released the game. If you remember when they released the game, they did these absolutely ridiculous challenges, like, for example, 5,360 degree headshots with a concussion grenade. They obviously fixed those, but now they've introduced these other ones. Heal teammates' health in heat zones by 1,000. That is insane. 500 is annoying, but 1,000 is just ridiculous. The event itself, I enjoy it. It's a cool event. I didn't mean that pun. What they should have done is obviously released it across a few maps, or just a couple of maps, because the map they released it on, it's just way too repetitive to put one of these challenges on. And it gets to the point that it's not even a grind anymore, it's just infuriating. And the movement nerf that they quickly backed out of. I honestly don't have a problem with the movement in the game in general. If you're dying from someone sliding around the corner so often, that's completely a skill issue. Learn to slide or learn to hold a corner better. You could get angry at that, that's fine. Another thing that leads me to believe that they merged a patch on top of an old release was the conquest tickets. How they went back to 1,000 points and then they've reverted that to 1,200 points. I get it, people make mistakes, I understand that, but this is a AAA title and this game has been on a roll recently, releasing patches and communicating with the players, and that's great. On top of all of the things they've done, why would they release a major patch that they would have definitely have tested just before the scheduled tournament, and then they cancelled that? On top of that, it's Christmas. Everyone's about to go on break and the player base is going to be stuck with a broken game, or at least a trickle patched game throughout the Christmas break, and that is unacceptable. I don't want them to ruin this game. We have gone for so long without a good Battlefield game. 2042, I still played that to death, but it was not fun. They have finally released something fun, something enjoyable, and they've had such a good track record of fixing things, and I get it's only just come out, but this patch is just an abomination. I don't want to spend too much time complaining about it, but when you can't even get into a game in the first place, look at this. It goes grey as soon as you click on this. I can't click anything here anymore. The only way I found out to get into a game is double click the Winter Offensive and then I can get into the Ice Lock Conquest, but as soon as I go to Domination, it disappears again. So you can't get back here until you reset the game. At least you can get into the first tile. Same goes here. Custom search, breakthrough doesn't work. And look at those tiles. I cannot comprehend what these people were thinking when they said, let's just release it. Anyway, thank you very much for stopping by. It's only a quick one. I didn't mean to rant, but I feel like I just needed to get it off my chest. And if you ever felt you were alone, which you probably didn't because I'm like the smallest YouTuber in the planet, if you ever felt you were alone, there's another dude in Australia that feels the exact same way as you. Anyway, thank you for being here, and I will see you on the battlefield.